You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Welcome to the first episode of this year's Penny Hardaway Show. We're going to sit down with Coach Hardaway as he goes into his fifth season, looking to have the same success he had last season and even more. And we also talked to a couple of players and a couple of coaches.
The game is on.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone, and is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers.
This was a good week for the Tigers. It's always nice to beat Ole Miss. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Doc Holliday. The Tigers with 2 targets in their sights this week, North Alabama and Ole Miss. Can we take a look at the highlights, please?
First of 2 home games this week for the Tigers, coming Wednesday against North Alabama. First 2 points of the game, DeAndre Williams outside. Jumper looks better and better this year. 15 for him in this one. Jonathan Lawson, another one whose shot is looking solid. 3 ball on target here. The younger Lawson brother, 3 of 4 from three-point land. 10 points for him on the night. Later, Jonathan going down low to Malcolm Dandridge. Malco jump hook off the glass. Tigers lead at 11. Little Lawson making plays. Big brother Chandler making them too. Elijah McCadden hits Chandler in the paint. Tigers up 18 at the half. Second half, more of the same. Kendrick Davis for 3. He finished with 18. The Tigers making easy work of North Alabama, winning 87-68. Now the big one this week, an all Mid-South rivalry between the Tigers and Ole Miss. Memphis looking to avenge a loss to the Rebs last year, and the Memphis East product, Alex Lomax, went off early and often. This jumper's cash. He's hyped up, telling the 901 to get loud, and you know he's feeling it when he breaks this out of the bag. Half spin, step back, on target. Team high 10 points in the first half for Lomax. Tigers up 14 at the break. To the second, check out this tic-tac-toe. Kendrick Davis, Dandridge to DeAndre Williams for the finish, plus the foul. Williams was the outstanding performer in this one. Shortly after, get up. Monster slam for Williams. He led the team with 17 points and 14 rebounds. No surprise who the defensive player of the week was. Lomax showing why he's top 10 in steals in program history right here. Later in the second, Kendrick Davis left earlier with an ankle tweak. Wasn't his best game, but he can still do this when it matters. Count the basket plus the foul. Tigers get back at the Rebs for last year. 68-57 final in this one. Hey, let's talk about it.
Penny, year 5. How different are you as a coach than you were 5 years ago?
I'm way different, way more relaxed. You know, it was more, I can't say anxiety, but I was more anxious to get to the games. I felt like my basketball knowledge of the game would help carry me through, but it was much harder than what I expected. You know, I didn't think it was gonna be easy, but just figuring out the players, figuring out how to win games on this level, and trying to mesh the staff, getting the proper guys on staff to go along with me to help us, you know, lead these young men. And now, much more calm, understand what's going on. I've learned from a ton of mistakes that I've had in the past, and I have a terrific staff.
And just talking about that, Penny, man, the progression you've made, NIT championship, second round of the NCAA tournament. Talk about all those tough times you had to go through and get to this point now where you're seeing, you know, some success and you're seeing your knowledge increase.
Yeah, most people who've been successful, you've had to go through a storm before the sunshine came. So I've gone through a storm. I've had Final Four talent, but I haven't been able to mesh that talent to play well together to make it to our dream. So now, you know, in my 5th year, I feel like I have the team and the staff that kind of fits my personality more.
Since you mentioned mistakes, okay, we all make them, that you've learned from, what is the number one thing you think that you might do differently now than you did at that time?
I coach the game to win. You know, I think in the past I've kind of played some players just because I was like, okay, I got to play this kid. And maybe they didn't earn that, but I put them on the floor anyway. It lost a little credibility with the rest of the team. And also, it didn't bode well for winning. You got to play the guys that are going to win because I'm paid to get that job done.
A lot of transfers, a lot of new coaches. Let's start there and talk about your new staff, how they gel.
Yeah, Andy Borman, I'll go with him first. Good friend of mine from AAU days, really solid guy. Former Duke walk-on, but just has a ton of respect and works his butt off, is here, so I'm happy to have him here. And then Faraji Phillips, who I coached against at Whitehaven when I was at East, and has been a good friend of mine for years. He brings that energy, he brings that toughness because we're both defensive-minded. And then, you know, last but not least, Coach Frank Haith. He was Coach of the Year in 3 different conferences, so his expertise in being a head coach and an assistant combined, his knowledge and the way that he plays that zone, you know, that zone is going to be special with the way that we play man. So got some things cooking up with this staff that I haven't been able to do before.
Sort of go over the roles as you see them fairly early still in this season.
Yeah, well, for Alo, it's leadership and his defense. You know, to me, he's the best defensive guard in the country. We need that from him. Jaden, we need him to make shots. We need him to be the guy that helps the other guys that are new. He understands the system, and we need him to knock down shots. Keontae, same thing, need him to knock down shots. Elijah McCadden, we need him to be a playmaker. We need him to be the second best defender on the floor, to match Alo and to mirror Alo and to try to shut the other team's best players down. KO, we need him to block shots, get out and run. He's the fastest big in the country. We need him to do that. Chandler Lawson is a guy that we need to do everything really. Distribute the ball, play in the mid post, play in the high post, create plays, set screens, do a lot. Same thing with Malcolm Dandridge. Get him to rebound, do the dirty work, set good screens, score for us in the post, and do things of that nature. Jonathan Lawson, just need him to come in and be the high IQ player that he is. Make plays for everybody and shoot with confidence. Everybody understands this year who they really are and where they need to be. And obviously, like you said, Kendrick and DeAndre are 2 guys that know that they got to go out there and be leaders on both sides of the ball.
And real quickly, Penny, how do you get them to accept those responsibilities and those roles and do it, you know, because it's kind of tough. You can tell them this is what I need you to do, but a lot of times players have to accept those roles.
Yeah, I think coming here, they made a decision to come here. And your decision to come here, this is the role that we have for you. You don't try to fool them and tell them they're going to be something else and then get here and then say you're not that. You tell them right away, hey, man, this is what we need from you if you're going to come here. They sign a dotted line to come here, then they understand that's what it is. But also, it's who they are. It's how I'm recruiting now. I know that this kid has this ability to do this, and he knows that's what he does well. There's no identity crisis. So the kids that I can't say the kids, the guys that I recruited, they know who they are.
The last thing here is once you've gotten your roles defined, then you have to execute. And when you have the experience this team has, I think that's your big trump card here. How much does that experience really play in for the rest of this year?
Now, the experience is definitely it's crucial because the guys have been here before. They've been through wars. They've been through tough games. They've been through ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of a season. So they know how to just endure through all the adversity. And that's what we're doing this year. We got a team that knows how to win. Late game games now because they've been in those. They know how to get the guys the ball that need the ball, and they know how to make plays when it's time to make plays. And then off the court, they understand how to conduct themselves. So having that age and that experience really helps.
Great words from Coach Hardaway. Now we're going to hear some great words from his assistant coaches coming up on the Penny Hardaway Show.
You're watching the Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Thanks for coming back to the Coach Penny Hardaway Show. Coach Hardaway bringing on several new assistants this season. We're going to hear from them right now.
Coach, let's start off by welcoming you to Memphis. Great to have you here. Now, when you look at the makeup of this team, what do you see as the potential?
Well, I see a team that is what Penny's all about, you know, defensive minded. They can really guard. And once we get our flow offensively, you're going to see this team take off. I think this, you know, we're older. We don't have a lottery pick on this team, obviously. And Penny's had a bunch of those since he's been here. But we've got a lot of really good, solid players. And I say this all the time, defense travels. If you can defend, you always give yourself a chance. And our offense will catch up to our defense. You'll see that with this team as we progress.
I think the sky's the limit for this team as long as we can get guys to coexist and know their roles. Right now, we're playing pretty well. Do we have improvement to make? Absolutely. But the main thing that we're trying to get these guys is to understand their roles, understand buy-in, why this has to happen this way. And for the most part, they've understood and they're beginning to see now the importance of that. And so we're looking for a big week this week. We got 2 games that we're looking forward to playing. Obviously, we're excited, we're motivated to get in the gym tomorrow. But I think the sky's the limit for this team.
On this particular staff, overview, what is your primary role each day?
It kind of depends on the day, right? And what is needed. You know, we've got a coach that's straightforward and honest with our guys. And our guys are starting to really understand how unique and special that is. And they're buying into it. You know, I think if we can keep taking these steps, you know, that blue collar Memphis mentality, it could turn into something really special because they'll fight.
The Tigers with a nice core of veteran leaders on this basketball team. One is brand new, but Coach Hardaway has some vets that's been with him from the beginning.
Kendrick, so glad to have you in Memphis. But I guess, why did you choose Memphis? You could have gone to a lot of different places.
Coach P, everybody know. I say it all the time. Coach Penny was the reason I'm here. You know, I love it. But also the basketball culture, you know, that Memphis brings is second to none, you know. I mean, basketball world, but I mean, it's a basketball city for real.
Talk about your mentality on the basketball court, because you have the attitude, you can get a bucket anytime you want to, and you walk like it too. But what keeps you from, you know, forcing shots, because you don't really force shots, you play within the game. Talk about your mentality on the court.
Yeah, man, like, I'm a killer, so I feel like, you know, whoever guard me, I mean, I feel like if I have a bad game, it's because of me. And me and Coach P talked about it. The first 2-3 games, I wasn't a killer. But I mean, that came with me, you know, being a little too cool with teammates, you know, trying to fit in. He was, I didn't bring you here to fit in. I bring you here to be a killer that you is.
You talk about all these new teammates. You've mentioned this before now. How long do you think it takes to really get to know how to play off of each other? You and DeAndre in particular. Now you got Kennedy that seems to be heating up a little bit. You've got the, I guess, luxury of having an Alo who can also handle the ball. But how do you guys learn to gel together?
It's harder said than done. I mean, some teams never do it, you know, and them be the ones that kind of don't never figure it out. But I mean, we trying to figure it out. I know each team needs something different from each player. And we all trying to, you know, figure it out with the wins columns and the losses. You figure out, all right, we win more when this player do this, we lose more when this player do that. And, you know, I'm a point guard, but like Coach Penny said, we need you to score the ball on this team. So you got to be aggressive scoring. Like, I know, as a point guard, you know, you get the ball, come off the screen, you look for the big. He want me to come off aggressive to score. And it's different because at SMU I scored, but, you know, Coach Jank wanted me to, you know, be a point guard at the end of the day. And I'm lucky to have Alex, you know, take a little pressure off of me. I could just go get a bucket. He gonna guard the best player. You know, I ain't got to chase him always around. But, I mean, we just still learning each other and just learning what we need as a team.
This year you have the luxury of a really good backcourt mate in Kendrick Davis. Talk a little bit about how maybe that makes your job easier, how you guys communicate.
Yeah, this player of the year right there. He's a dog. It's great having him with me. It slows the game down a lot. It put us both in positions to make the best plays for the team. You know, not so much pressure on just having the ball in my hands the entire time and making every last play. I got somebody else out there who can do the exact same thing, or sometimes even at a better rate. So it's just fun. You know, we're growing, we're getting closer every day. We haven't reached our potential yet as a backcourt. We're still kind of playing off each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we're still growing as the season goes along, and as we can see, it's kind of adapting and coming along well as time goes by. So just hopefully we just can keep doing that, and you know, we're both selfless and we both just want to win at the end of the day. So I feel like it's going to always just keep getting better and working out for us.
Talk about this team. What's different about this team? Because you've been here for every team that Penny has had. You know, the big recruits, those squads. What's different about this squad than all those other previous squads you've been a part of?
I would probably say mainly there's way less egos inside the locker room, especially early on in the year. Kind of less politics from the players' point of view. Guys just coming in being selfless, just want to play, just trying to fit in where they can and just do what's best for the team. You know, we kind of got the pecking order already established for the team, like from first to the couple options. But I mean, it's basketball. Everybody understand their role. Everybody don't think they're the man on this team, and I feel like that's a great thing because it takes everybody to be a star in their role. And I feel like guys on this team are trying to perfect their roles and be stars in it. And that's probably one of the best things we realized early on in the year than the previous years I've been here.
How much better do you think you've gotten? We've all seen it from that freshman year to now.
I feel I've gotten a lot better, you know, from when I very first got here, and I was about maybe 2 to 3 inches smaller and like 40 pounds lighter. So, you know, just from that alone and just learning from the guys who were playing in front of me, the past 3 years, I've learned a lot from their games, and I've tried to, implement that into my own and, just to help the team.
Who's the guy you learned the most from?
Probably Alo, probably Alice, just his leadership qualities, how hard he plays, and how every possession, just matters, the most. Any possession, could change the way of the game. So I learned that from him the most.
Coming up next on the Coach Penny Hardaway Show, we're going to take a look at the two teams the Tigers are playing this week, Arkansas Little Rock and Auburn.
You're watching the Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
This week, not easy. You've got UALR, they've always got talent, and then the big one, on a neutral, but it's on the road. It is against Auburn and a top 10 team in Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, ULAR with Darryl Walker, former NBA player. He has an NBA system kind of like we do over there, and he gets great talent, and he always has his team play so hard for him. So that's not going to be an easy game, so we can't overlook that game getting to Auburn, but going to be a really good game for us to get ready to play against a tough Auburn team, and to Auburn to get to Atlanta to play them again. We felt like we had them the first time around and let it go. We'll be ready for this time around as well.
When you look at that Auburn style, he's going to try to run, he's going to hack a bunch. What do you tell your team?
Just be aggressive. Hit first and don't stop hitting. We have to be the aggressors in that game. The toughest team will win.
You all are playing tough. They're going to play tough as well. How do you like that matchup?
No, I love that matchup because it's another SEC team. It's also Bruce Pearl, who is very high energy. And I love playing against high energy coaches, and his teams are always going to play tough. So, again, it's going to be a battle royal, and hopefully we come out on top.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
What will Bruce Pearl have up his sleeve? Can't wait for that one. We're back with a wrap on this one in just a minute.
You're watching the Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
That's the end of the first edition of this year's Penny Shows. We'll see you again same time next week.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone, and is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.